Hey, everybody, this is Toby Eunice with a Gypsy's Kiss, and I wanted to do a short live stream this evening to talk about a couple of things. The first one is I want to talk a little bit about the 6 questions that we asked our viewers to submit so that we could further submit them to Forrest Fenn. Excuse me. So I think what I'm going to do is walk through. Hey, Fossil Man, how are you doing? I'm going to walk through that little presentation real quick so I can have this video up this evening. And hi, Shelley. Are you going to be my moderator tonight? So what I want to do is share a short little presentation with you, and then we'll if we have some questions at the end, we'll take them then. And I'm sorry, I had gone out for my workout, and just literally just as I went outside, it started raining, and so I'm keeping my clothes on just so as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna try and go outside and get my workout in, even if it's a little bit darker than it is now. I was just surprised by the rain. It had been clear all day, and then literally between the time I closed my vertical blinds in my office here and went outside, it went from gray to raining. So hi, everybody. So let me get through this presentation, and I'm just going to share that with you. And like I said, I want to talk a little bit about the 6 questions. Okay. So let me see if I can get through this. Just follow along with me. You should be able to see the presentation in your window now. You'll be able to hear my voice, but you'll see the presentation while I'm talking along. So Shelley had we sent the questions to Fenn last week after going through a review process. And what we tried to do is pick the questions that met the criteria that we had established when we first came up with the idea. And so when we evaluated the questions, we were looking for the question. And by the way, we had over 100 questions. So we were evaluating them from the perspective that they were open-ended questions, beginning with what, who, where, when, how, or why, that they weren't closed-ended questions, so that the answer might be yes, no, or I don't know. And I'll explain the difference in just a few minutes. And that they were not compound questions. We wanted a simple question, not compound questions that made it difficult for Fenn to answer. And I don't mean he didn't understand them. What I meant is, as he looked at the question and the more complex it got, the more likely it was that he'd say, I don't need to understand this. We also considered the length of the preamble, if you wrote a preamble in there, and a lot of people did. And then the last thing that we looked at is what are the chances that Fenn would actually answer this question? So what I'm going to present to you are some of the samples that did make the cut. I've taken everybody's names off of them, so only the person who asked this question will know. And oh, by the way, I've also removed the questions from the YouTube video that we had made when we came up with this idea. So nobody's going to know A, whose questions didn't get asked, and B, whose questions did get asked. Okay. So let me just give you an example of a couple. So this was one of the questions. I called this, it had a kind of a preamble, and then it was closed-ended question. Since it was your original plan to die with your treasure, preamble, end of preamble, did you have a plan to get there without leaving your car nearby? So the answer to that question is one of yes, no, or I don't know. That's not an open-ended question that it enables him to explore it. So that one didn't. That was one of the ones that didn't make the cut. Another one that didn't make the cut is a little bit more complex, because this one had both a preamble and a postamble, and then a closed-ended question in the middle. When you travel to Cimarron Canyon, that's the preamble. Have you stopped at Jesse Phillips' grave? That's the question. Yes, no, or I don't know. The 15-year-old who died while passing through by wagon train in 1984. And that's what we refer to as the postamble. So it didn't make the cut. It would have been a yes-no question, but it also had the disadvantage of the preamble and the postamble. And this smarty pants tried to do the faux open routine with the when you have traveled. That is not the when you have traveled to Cimarron Canyon is a statement. It's not a question. So, but very tricky, very tricky. And then here's one that I thought to myself, how are we going to get him to answer this? And the question was, how many minor and major false hints or deceptive pictures, if any, were intentionally placed in the TOTC to make the poem harder to solve? And I think the first thing, of course, is that although it was an open-ended question, it had all these parameters that one established in order to make sure you were asking the question, and there were assumption, major and minor, false hints, deceptive pictures, intentionally placed, the poem harder to solve. So that fell into the category of, is that the kind of question that I would send it to Fenn and he would want to answer it, because it was so assumptive that I don't think that he would. So here are the questions that did make it. So I'm going to put them up and I'm going to read them for you so that you can see them. And again, the names have been removed to protect the innocent. Hey, Kevin Carney. Hey, you guys. Kevin Carney, Shelley's husband, is in the room, so say hi to him. I think this is the first time we've had you on a live stream, right? Nice to see you. Wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to be at work? What? Anyway, Kevin Carney is Shelley's husband, and he's my friend. And he's been on several recons with us. So here are the 6 questions that made it. What do you think about how far the search is? Let me reread that so I can put it in the right tone. What do you think about how far the search has come over the years? Question number 2, and you'll see these are all open-ended questions that would have to be answered with something other than yes, no, or I don't know. Number 2, what kind of sandwich should I bring with me? What should I bring when I pack my lunch to find the treasure? And I thought that was kind of a cute question, that he would have fun with it. Number 3, what were some of your thoughts throughout the final day you spent with a chest? And that was, to me, a really intriguing question, because when you're doing something like Fenn said he was doing and indicated how he felt, I think it would have been a lot of fun to hear his answer to that particular question. Number 4, what is it about being wise that might help a searcher locate the treasure? And that worked, of course, some of the things from the poem, being wise, et cetera, and open-ended, no preamble, no postamble. It wasn't assumptive. It was like an good open question. It would be the kind of question that I would ask if I was going off to interview anybody, but especially Fenn. Number 5, what time period, and this was a little bit more common, this particular question was a little bit longer, but I liked it so much, we decided to incorporate it. Number 5, what time period and tribe would you choose if you could go back and live with one of the tribes in the Americas? And my guess is that Fenn could have spent a half hour answering that question. Number 6, where did you get your inspiration from? Let me read that correctly. Where did you get your inspiration from for hiding a chest of treasure? And I also thought that was an intriguing question. Now, as you can tell by the way that I'm reading the questions as if they are in the past tense, we have not yet, unfortunately, received a response from Fenn. And not only have we not received his response to the questions, we haven't received any indication that he's interested in answering questions. And I had a feeling it would be like that. I've told you folks before, Fenn is not particularly my biggest fan. That might be just my feelings about the things, but there's so many reasons for him not to, including I may be infringing on Jenny Kyle's kind of territory here. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. He hasn't answered them. And I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to, Shelley recommended that we try one more time. It could have been that he was busy. We'll try one more time, send him to him and see if we can get some answers. If not, maybe there was something that we could do to, convince him to respond to them. So I don't want you guys to feel bad about what you did. I think what you created was an amazing set of questions, and I think there are questions that should be asked of Fenn. I think they're fair questions. They are questions that would not have been intrusive in terms of sharing additional information and giving us clues. I think the more we know about Fenn and his feelings and the emotions that he's experienced through all of this will benefit everybody. And I thought this was a good set of questions, and you gave us a lot to select from. I think of the 100 questions, we eliminated 50 based on the criteria that we established it, and then we just had to go through and kind of see, what have the most likelihood of being answered if he were to answer any of them. And so far, he has not. But I know people were curious about it, so I wanted to put something up so that they could. So that everybody would know what was going on. I didn't want you guys to think that we didn't want you knowing what was going on. So let me see. I've got some news for you, and that is AGK has opened its Twitter account. Now, we had opened it a while back, but we hadn't used it. I just wanted to let you know that we're going to start using our Twitter account. So if you're a Twitter person, make sure you follow us at a Gypsies. There are 10 people with a Gypsy's Kiss. I'm not sure why, but so we decided to go with a Gypsies. So if you look at the list of properties where you can, we can be found now, it's getting pretty extensive. You can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at agypsieskiss.tv. You can visit us at our blog at agypsieskiss.com. Find us on Instagram at _gypsies_kiss. Find us on Twitter now at twitter.com/gypsies. Our Facebook page, facebook.com/agypsieskiss. And then if you'd like to donate to our cause, you can always go to paypal.me, agypsieskiss. So I just wanted you guys to know that that there's a lot of ways to communicate with us, and we're going to continue finding other ways. I was investigating, the YouTube channel discussions page, which gives us some additional opportunity to communicate with one another. So just remember, that's my grandbaby boy, Shush Michael. Shush, he has the middle name, my middle name, and my son's middle name. And he's half Native American, maybe a little bit more because of my blood, but at least half. And Shush is Baby Bear. And so I asked Jason to take a picture of him shooting us a thumbs up so that it's a reminder for you guys to give this video a thumbs up and do that for us so that you like this video. So we have time for a couple of questions. Like, it's still raining outside, so I'm not going to get my workout in anytime soon. So if you guys have a couple of questions, make sure you start them with AGK, so I know that you're asking me. Shelly's in the house, and our one of our other moderators, Jimmy Fast, is also in the house. So Shelly can answer the questions, and let's see. So let's stick to the questions tonight, and what else that we did about him, if you have any. If you don't, then I'll just close this early and make sure this YouTube gets up quickly for everybody else to see. Hey, T.I., how are you doing? You can see with Shelly's chat, she's working on tomorrow's book club, which is what we call Chapter 3, the No Place for Biddies chapter. We're going to be discussing that tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thanks for reminding me. Tomorrow, Thursday, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be talking about that chapter. It's, again, not a very long chapter. It's only 2 pages long, but again, Shelley has done some great work on it. So if you guys have any recommendations about additional research on the chapter, let her know now so that she can incorporate. I'm sure she's getting close to finishing up, so she can incorporate that all into her report for tomorrow. Amy, I'm gonna reserve the right to keep these questions tonight based on the 6 questions, what we already talked about. We'll pick up on those questions on Tuesday. Okay. And eventually, we do have a YouTube video out there. I don't remember the exact title, where Shelley and I talked about the word that is key, or the word that we thought that was key, and why we thought it was. Okay. Oh, Joey, we're glad you liked it. Shelley did a great job of writing you the note, and I actually that card that we sent you with the announcement of the Day of the Tread bicycle race was actually up behind me. It was stuck to my magnetic board, and I had picked it up from my daughter. She had given me one of them, so I thought you might like that because it had that image that you were. That was this year's. That was the image, the one with the three riders. This is the third year that she's done that. So it had three riders on it. One of them blowing the trumpet, as you recognized. So I thought you'd like that. We sent it along. And if you want to get more of her work, you can find her at seanwells.me, SeanWells.me. So AGK, how about the Solve area, Conejos River? Stephen, we'll cover all of those things on Tuesday. Conejos has possibility because it does meet the criteria that we use for warm water salt. Good feeling someone would find the treasure. Edward, we analyzed that a couple of weeks ago when we analyzed the 6 questions. We took a look at it in great detail. So go back and look at that video where we talked about Jenny Kyle's 6 questions, and that answer is in there. So AGK, no place for the mink versus no place for the biddies. No, I haven't, Joey, only because Shelley's doing the in-depth analysis, and we'll have more on that tomorrow. So we'll reserve it for them. Good one. I'll take a look at that. Oh, there we go. See, your wish is her command. Post-stamp spreadsheet got any updates? Mark, it hasn't, only because we've been so busy with a lot of the other projects. I don't think it's been updated since I made it available to everyone. I haven't updated it since I made it available to everyone. Okay, so I didn't want to make this a long broadcast. Thanks for joining me this evening. Shelley, thanks for coming in and helping out. Kevin, thanks for coming by to visit. We really appreciate you being here. Glad to see you. You know that now you know all of our team. Kevin, Shelley, and I make up the Gypsy Kiss recon team. So now you know us all. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for dropping by. We will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to discuss the 3rd chapter in Fenn's book, the chapter entitled No Place for Biddies. Did I say that right? All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.